If it wasn't for Shippam's, I don't think I would have had the life that I have today.
It was a very friendly place to work.
We had so much fun.
When you look back on those fond memories, you think, my goodness, didn't we have it really good? That's my thing I take away from Shippam's.
My memory of my great-grandfather, Charles, he started to manufacture food products which had a long shelf life because they could be sterilised, and that enabled them to be distributed throughout the UK. My great-grandfather had 8 sons and 3 daughters. There were 11 of them. 5 of the boys went into the business. So they delegated the running of it to the youngest one, who was the first Ernest Shippam.
I grew up having Shippam's on a Sunday tea time. We had Shippam's paste spread on rolls. Salmon was our favourite.
Potted beef with butter.
Sardine and tomato.
It was absolutely gorgeous.
The smell from Shippam's did sort of invade the area surrounding it.
If you think you're cooking 500 chickens or 500 kilos of beef, it was quite a distinctive smell over Chichester, and everything was being extracted through the extraction system and blown outside.
Once you were in the factory, you never smelt it.
It never crossed my mind, for some reason, that I would ever do anything else other than work with Shippam's. I started as a management trainee. I worked on the sales side of the business, and then I did some work on the purchasing side of the business, and then I helped run the factory for a while. Eventually became assistant managing director. In 1973, I became the chief executive, and I was asked to run the business, and I don't regret having done it for 1 minute.
Working for Shippam's was a good job.
Shippam's was my first job. I worked there straight from leaving school.
You had the packing department, you had loading bay.
The chicken picking room, then onto the retort area, which then sterilised the products.
It was just so big.
The laboratory was quite small. Test the protein, the moisture, the fat and the ash, quality control.
My philosophy was that if you have to spend much of your life at work, you might as well make it as enjoyable as possible.
Sometimes somebody would start singing and the whole room, everybody was singing.
If it was your birthday, you'd get hosed down or put in a bucket of water.
There was so much camaraderie. Sometimes you think, how do we get on with the work? Because it was a laugh,
I remember Jim always used to come around the factory and he'd know everybody's name. He used to make dad jokes. It's the best way I can describe it. It's dad jokes. Really bad, but everybody had to chuckle because it was Jim, because he was making the effort.
When I left, I was given the joke book, which contained them all. If I looked at them now, I don't think I'd laugh at all.
Social club was another great place.
We used to play darts there, we played table tennis there, and then we suggested that they may like to run discos for some of the younger people. Well, actually, we ended up running them ourselves.
Most people, I think, looked back on their years with Shippam's with a degree of pleasure.
I suppose the major impact of Shippam's affecting my life was the fact that I met my husband there.
I met my husband at Shippam's. My husband's best man worked at Shippam's. The DJ was from Shippam's.
If I'd gone to work anywhere else, I would never have met him and wouldn't have my 2 lovely sons.
I was lucky to see it. All these big family firms have gone, and it was great, and they really looked after us.
Perhaps the most successful and memorable piece of advertising which we did was a film made by the London Press Exchange.
It was a product that every household in the country probably had a jar of paste or spread in the cupboards. Shippams, who came to us and said, you know what, we think we should be doing some TV advertising, and came up with using a format which was quite new at the time, of showing lots of quick cuts, cameos, vignettes of different people using and enjoying the product. We recorded the music actually with Manfred Mann. I think I can probably remember the jingle word for word. Dig into a jar and spread on Shippams. Shippams puts the fresh taste in paste.
Fish or meat, there's a genuine treat in every jar of Shippam's paste. Spread sandwiches or crackers, tea time toast, for a supper or a party it's great. 16 varieties for you to choose from. Shippam's put the fresh taste in paste.
Their reaction was amazing. Mr. N. Shipping just gave us a lovely warm smile and said thank you very much for doing this great work for us.
Many people remember that advertisement, and I think it had a significant effect on the sale of our products and the way in which our business was viewed. The William Underwood Company was almost the United States equivalent to Shippam's. So he came to the then Ernest Shippam and said to him, will you manufacture these meat products for us? But in exchange for that deal, 26% of the business was sold to Underwoods. Chicken Supreme was an extraordinarily successful paste. It was seen by Marks and Spencer's, and then we did the same thing for Sainsbury under their label, and it became remarkably successful. Looking back, the paste business reached its peak in the 1980s and remained as such until I sold the rest of the business to them some years later. When I retired, it was one of the most profitable food manufacturing companies in the UK. The way in which the business was managed after I left was not the way in which I had managed it. I think it therefore became perhaps a less enjoyable place at which to work than it had been.
It lost its family feel. It was almost like we weren't part of anything anymore, whereas with Shippam's you were part of something.
I was approached by a friend of mine in the city who was representing Grand Metropolitan, who were the owners of Shippam's at that time, who had decided to sell off all of their food businesses. Shippam's was the one that attracted my attention. After a protracted series of negotiations, I managed to purchase the business in 1996. The main success, I would say, that we had with that business was rebranding the Shippam's products. We repackaged them, we brightened the designs up, we made them more relevant to the consumers at the time, and we put the brand back on television where it had been historically, but probably not for at least 20 years. In 2002, we were approached by princes who wanted to buy the Shippam's business. And given that I had some other shareholders who were anxious to sell their stake in the business, we entertained their approach and we sold the business to them.
When East Walls was closing down, obviously a very sad time for all of us.
They found Terminus Road, and then we all had to move down from East Walls, which was an absolute nightmare.
It was quite sad seeing a lot of the old stuff go and seeing the crumbling factory.
On the last day of production, I filled the last basket of Shippam's products.
I took a little walk through the factory one last time after everything was empty. It was eerie. There was nothing there.
This mustn't be forgotten because it was such a big part of Chichester. 230 years in the same property. It's incredible. End of an era, really.
What I will always remember about Shippam's is the family feel.
Everybody was very friendly and helpful.
It was an enjoyable and happy working environment.
The friendships that were made and are still strong today.
I like organising the reunions, as I think it shouldn't be forgotten, and I think it's just nice that a few of us get together now and again to meet up and reminisce on nice times, which it was, actually. It was something special. Just sad it's finished, really. Yeah.
Dig into a jar and spread on Shippam's. Shippam's with a fresh taste in paste. Fish or meat, there's a genuine treat in every jar of Shippam's paste. Spread sandwiches or crackers, tea time toast, for a supper or a party, it's great. 16 varieties for you to choose from. Shippam's with a fresh taste in paste.